determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We are at Mid-Ohio this week for what is round number 11 of this series now. We're really getting into it, so just a couple more races to go here before we declare the new champion. At Mid-Ohio, great little circuit, and I think we're going to see a great race today. It's going to be very difficult for people to overtake. The MX-5 is going to be particularly strong. But yeah, in all, I'm expecting an absolute cracker out there. I'm going to head straight over to the track guide, and then we'll bring you up the grid as they're doing the parade lap.
Welcome, everyone, to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, located here just outside of Lexington, Ohio. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this beautiful 2.4-mile road course. This course was originally constructed in 1962 by Les Griebling and inaugurated its first races in August of 1963. The course has continued to host sports car racing throughout the years, and today Mid-Ohio plays host to events from the SCCA all the way up to the IndyCar Series. Well, let's begin our track guide around this fast and thrilling 2.4-mile road course as we head up the front straightaway and cross the starting line. Heading into turn one here, drivers will be in fourth gear as they approach the corner, about brake marker 150. They'll get down into third, roll that center, and try to get a nice wide track out, pick up speed up this short straight into turn two. And then up into turn three, back to throttle, and then a late apex going into turn four here. The famous keyhole as we come down off the hill, the off-camber exit, easy on the throttle here, back to throttle and up. Heading down this backstretch here, it's not a real long backstretch, but plenty in length for slipstream and a little bit of drafting. Mustang drivers will be hitting somewhere around 125, 130 miles an hour. As we come down into the famous undulating section of the course, around turn 7 and up into turn 8, drivers will get into second gear over this blind corner called Madness. Down into turn 9, up into third gear, drivers will roll that center and try to get a good launch out of 9, up into 10, and down this off-camber exit into turn 11. This brings us up into what's known as Thunder Valley, the second fastest section on the track. Short shoot straight with a little banked right-hander here. It brings us up into turn 12. Want to get down to the bottom there to get that distance coming off the corner, up into 13. Roll late apex here into 14, easy on throttle, back to the floor, wide open, up into third gear, out of turn 15 and across the finish line. Well, there's your track guide around this beautiful Mid-Ohio sports car course. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for that. Looking forward to this one. Definitely going to be a tricky challenge for everyone. Traffic could be very, very interesting. Let's take a very, very quick look at the championship standings before we get into this one. So in the GS Pro Series, Mike Dam leads the way. He's recovered after a few scrappy weeks with issues with disconnects and things like that. Clawed his way back to the top of the championship and sort of held on to that now. So Iannucci in second, Mikey Graham's in third, Stephen Thomas having a great season in 4th, and then Tyler Shiflett rounds out your top 5. Still very, very close, and everything to race for with a couple of weeks to go. Into the GS Open Championship, Mike Griffiths leads the way, and then it's Mike Ruddock. Still, gap starting to build a little bit apart now. Scott Brooks in 3rd, Mike Burkett in 4th, and Mike Monaghan in 5th. Basically, you want to be called Mike if you want to be in the top 5 of the GS Open Series. Just looking a little bit further down there, Alex Marshall we haven't seen for a while in 11th place. In the ST Pro Series, it's Rob Hartley leading the way with 295 points. This championship still very, very close. David Payton in 2nd, John Allen 3rd, Tom Rathje in 4th, Brian Holmes round out the top 5, and just 35 points separates those top 5 as well. In the ST Open, Richard Losper leading the way, having a great season, but still just 6 points ahead of Chris Tallman, though. So very, very close in that series. Those guys, started to break a little bit away now from Dan Carrido and Mike Key there. Let's take a quick look at what the grid lineup was. Patty Nucci gets the pole position here with a 1:34.965. Kevin Ford in 2nd place. Mike Dam in 3rd. Just 1/10 of a second behind as well. So Ford missing out on pole position by 0.02 of a second. So Scott Kennedy is in 4th. Mikey Graham's 5th. Mike Griffiths in 6th. Tyler Shiflett 7th. Then we've got Ruddock in 8th. Thomas in 9th. Katila in 10th. Monaghan in 11th. Whitworth in 12th. And then Mike Ruddock in 13th. Wright in 14th. Brooks 15th. And right there, just noticing we're missing some of the division things on the overlay there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Hopefully we can get that sorted out as we go through the race. Right, let's jump back with it and take you through the start of this one. Pace car rounds off the final turn. Ford and Iannucci lead the way. Equal start. Great start by Ford. Really hoping to try and capitalise on his front row. First time we've seen him there. Gets away well. Has to slot into 2nd place. Mike Dam in 3rd. Everybody away cleanly. Take a little look back, further back at the MX-5s as they come around. Hartley leading the way with this one. Got a lot of Team Mad cars around him, so no such issues worrying about that scramble into turn 1. All of them just give each other a little bit of room straight through their single file. Good start from the MX-5s as well. No incidents. Everyone's still running as far as I can see. Big shout out and thank you to the sponsors for this one. So Ricmotech and TD's Tree Service. Andrew Woodhouse will be with us very, very shortly. As we jump back into the Mustangs, and still very, very close up front. We're a few minutes behind here, and we will catch back up to the live action shortly. Just wanted to make sure I brought you all the information as we got going. Yeah, I'm sure the boys have overslept, which is why I'm here on my own at the moment. But yeah, great start from everybody. A little bit of a separation. I'm not sure what's gone on there. A couple of guys just sort of breaking away. But yeah, great shot. I saw everybody just navigates their way down using the alternate layout as well. So the normally it's just a straight shoot down in towards turn 2, the hairpin, but they're using the little sort of chicane through there. Just makes it a little bit more interesting, cuts it up. What I will say, it probably takes away one of the overtaking places. Turn 2 definitely one of the options for a move that can happen. Right, welcome back to Apex Racing TV. What do you need when we're doing sim racing, internet outage when the broadcaster's down? Well, we're totally screwed. And, well, what can you say? We're back, we're in. Not much has changed, I have to say, since we left. Iannucci still leads the way in the Mustangs with Kevin Ford in second. Great job from him. Right on Pat's tail at the moment. Mike Dam, 8.2 seconds back. He has had a pit stop. No, he's not 8.2 seconds back. Oh, there's a few pit stops going on. Yeah. So, Dam was down in 13th. Sorry, I just hadn't updated that. MX5 still very, very close. Nothing between them. The Mad Cars all very, very close. And as you can hear in the background as well, Mr. Woodhouse is back in the house.
Hello.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And yeah, a bit of a shorter race today for us now.
It's all right. My customary nap sort of ran over by about 10 minutes, so I do apologise. But yeah, we're here. We're at Mid Ohio, and appropriately, we're now back mid-race, Alex.
Yeah, and like I said, not much has changed. It's still very, very close.
I will say this is the chance for Kevin Ford now, isn't it? Though his rival's in the pits. He looked a tiny bit quicker.
I mean, best qualifying performance I've seen Kevin do all season. You know, 2 thousandths of a second off of the pole position, just missing out there. He's getting held up a little bit here that he won't want, that's for sure. Or this whole section, very frustrating. There we go, nips through. But yeah, while Pat and Mike are into the pits, he'll need to sort of make hay if he was being held up, and it did look as though he was being held up, so got a good chance to jump. Where did Iannucci did a 16.3 second stop compared to Dam's 15.2, so Dam has jumped him in the pits. So that is worth noting as well. So yeah,
I've got to give the whole field a lot of credit so far, because we're nearly half an hour into the race. And there's only 35 seconds between the entire pack of 4 Mustangs, Alex. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those have pitted as well. Ford into the pits. Mikey Grimm's also into the pits as well. So where is Dam then? So he is coming round the final corner now. Ford is not away yet. He needs to be. He's still stationary, 19 seconds.
Oh.
This is a disaster. 22.6 seconds. So he's going to, well, yeah, he's fallen way back.
That's behind Scott Brooks. So that's in about 11th to 12th. Griffith coming around the first corner as well. And Griffith has just got ahead, just behind Mikey Grimm's there. So. The Ford still got ahead of Griffith. Lost a bit of time though, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, Ford 7 seconds that he's lost there. Griffiths, they had slow stops as well. So I don't know if Dam and Iannucci knew something that the others don't know, or they've perhaps decided to go no tyres. That's a possible option, isn't it? We've seen some of them do no tyres. Yeah.
And let's face it, overtaking is not easy here.
No. So I'm guessing Dam has gone for no tyres to get that track position. Iannucci's done the same. That's the same tactic that worked for him at Oran Park a couple of races ago. This time, however, Mike has cleared him. Still very, very close though on track, 1.3 seconds between them. And I don't think this is a track that Dam is necessarily that much quicker than the field. You know, he's been pretty dominant this season once he's been in full flow, but it doesn't seem like it quite so much here. Leon Wright into the pits as well.
Yep, right here as well. And you remember we used to do the official IndyCar series here, didn't we? And overtaking was pretty bloody hard, you know, in that car. And now they've added that chicane after turn 1, and for me, it takes away an overtaking place, being the keyhole.
This is what I
we were
said
here just for the touring cars the other day.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I said at the start of the race before we got cut off the air.
Oops.
But yeah, there's just a couple of comments just saying, actually how good the actual chicane is. And it does look like quite a nice chicane. It's not too tight, so you can carry some speed through there. So I bet it'll be a lot of fun in a high-speed sort of car as well.
The corner's probably fine, but it takes away that, I suppose, definitely that heavy braking zone, doesn't it?
So really, we are looking at just sort of what was turn 3. That's your sort of your major overtaking place. So you need to absolutely maximise the run out of there. And I'll tell you, it might make it easier to get a run coming out of that hairpin. It's a tricky corner at the best of times, and now might be a little bit better. Right, I'm waiting for Ford to do a lap after the pits. He hasn't done a clear one this one. But I want to see...
Kennedy still leads, by the way.
Yeah, not so him, Russell, Ruddock, and well, Stephen Thomas hadn't pitted. Thomas is just in now.
Brandon
But I want to
Whitworth in
see
from fourth as well.
what the lap time differences are, because Ford was quick in quali. So let's see what he does as he crosses the line. That was a 1:36.0. So he's only a couple of tenths quicker than Dam. And now he did have a bit of traffic that lap, so you know he might well close in. He can see Iannucci just up the road, 5.5 seconds clear. So this could come back into him, and maybe with the fresher tyres when he gets there, he might be able to do enough to get a move done. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Dam did pull away a couple of tenths from Iannucci that lap.
Having a little look on board as Kevin Ford went through that chicane. I've never driven this layout with the chicane in it, and I was just having a quick look at it, and yeah, you're right, it does seem like a really nice corner actually. And it can give you the chance to drive a few different lines through it as well. And like you say, you can probably set someone up down the back straight, but again, we've got the problem, especially with the Ford, that there's just not a lot of slipstream in this car anyway, so... Whereas in the Mazda, you might be able to get them... I mean, if the Mazda's been challenging down into what will be effectively turn 6 now.
Not really seen an awful lot, to be honest. Unfortunately, we only saw a few laps before we got dropped. So that's the problem. So we sort of picked back up where you joined in. So what we are seeing is there's quite a separation between the mad cars out there as well. We've had one of them in. Svenke's been into the pits.
Here comes Losper.
Hartley and Hums are pretty much just disappearing from the rest. They're in the mid 139s. Everybody else is in the 140s.
Losper having a look on Peyton. Yeah, that straight just does not seem long enough, really, for anyone to draw alongside in the braking area.
It is quite a short straight, isn't it? It always has been a short track around here, and you know, people do struggle to sort of get moves done. So
it was the IndyCar Series race here at the weekend as well.
And
again, there's never a great deal of passing in that. In that here, but to be fair, the keyhole is usually the place where most of the passing comes, and again, that's being used here.
I remember the Rose Series race round here. I was under quite a bit of pressure as
David Payton in
the pits, yeah, Payton. And but to be honest, when you don't make a mistake, you know, it's people just can't get by. That's the thing.
You can be a second or two slower even around here and get away with it. And there aren't that many places.
As long as you're quick out of the corners. That's the main thing.
Mike Dam being caught now by Iannucci.
Kennedy in.
That's because there is some traffic right in front of the Canadian.
Yeah, I don't think this race is over and done with yet. Kevin Ford at 1:35.8 the last time by. What's he going to do this time?
Very good pit stop by Kennedy, Alex.
Yeah, he's come out in front of Ford. Yeah, so like you say, very good indeed. 14.6 seconds, the quickest we have seen from Kennedy. So Ford has genuinely lost a place in the pits.
2 places, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 places.
Because he was in P2, yeah. Lapping well though, 1:36.3. He's the fastest man out there at the moment.
I mean, the gap has come down quite considerably. So it was close to 6 seconds, so it's almost half that at this point.
What?
So
by the way, what on earth has happened to Mikey Grems? Because he's 1 minute and 22 seconds behind. He is the fastest man on the track, 1:36.1.
Well, he's had 2 stops, and the last stop was 37 seconds. So I am guessing he sped on the way out. And had,
maybe.
Yeah, had a stop go come in, and well, not stop go, but stop and hold. So the only thing I can think of there. Brian Holmes, he's had his pit stop. He has come out behind Hartley and Svenke. So those guys have actually sort of exchanged positions in the pits, but they're all still not so close. Holmes is close to Hartley, but Svenke's 4.7 seconds up the road. Travis, with that early pit stop, actually has nailed it and pulled away from these guys.
Yeah, he's 4 seconds, isn't it? And here comes. Going to see anything between Holmes and Hartley? It's unlikely, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
The teammates. It looks like they're not fighting hard here.
I don't think they'll want to fight hard as well if there's half a chance of catching up with Travis. Yeah,
because this is a team change, isn't it? A team name change over the last 2 weeks. I literally go away for a week and change the name. Is that right? It was Foxfoot Racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And this isn't Team Mad, is it? This is someone different, isn't it?
Slightly different, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a difference for me. Well, what have we got? Russell Ruddock leads the race, by the way. He hasn't pitted yet, but of course what it's going to do, it's always worth hanging on for this longer stop if you can, because time spent in the pits is going to be greatly reduced, and that means that he can probably come out in 7th place, you would imagine. What's the pits time loss here? Is it about 35 seconds, isn't it?
It's a bit more. It's a bit more than that. It depends whether they take tyres or not. I think that's the main thing.
He's out in. Oh, is he out in 7th? Yeah, he's out in 7th. So, Ruddock, 22 seconds behind only. I mean, that's worked out pretty well for him. He's only 3 seconds behind Stephen Thomas. He's 12 seconds ahead of Matthew Katila, so that's a nice steady second half of the race coming up for him, I think, where he might not be a very eventful one, mate, but it's going to be a fruitful one, nevertheless, 7th place.
Trying to sort out why our class overlays are not working tonight. Looks like it's just one of those nights, I think, Woody, where everything just goes a little south.
Don't worry.
There we go.
Things
We're
happen,
back.
don't they?
Just having a little look at the leaders because, well, 2 seconds covers the top 3 right now, and they have got Kevin Ford slowly closing in on them as well. I think he will be there by the end of the race, and he is on the fresher rubber. Just see him coming through the final corner now. But all three,
quickly, actually, isn't he? It's Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy is quick at 35.9 the last time by. So
I think that's quicker than anybody.
it is, and actually Ford a little bit slower that lap as well. So he's dropped back.
Doesn't want to obviously use up all his tyres here, but
Got to get to them though, hasn't he? Yeah, I think you use them while you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially on the track like this, where, like we've said already, overtaking is I might even call it nearly impossible in this Mustang.
Yeah, you've got to be there when they make the mistake. That's the thing, you know?
Right.
This is what this track is about. Like, you can pile the pressure on from behind, keep poking your nose out here, there, and everywhere. Give them something to think about, just so they make that one little slip up, and then you have them. Really, all you can do.
The rhythm track, this as well, isn't it? It's one of those where you've got to,
fantastic.
You get one corner wrong, then the next one or two are going to be compromised as well.
The undulations around here is what makes this circuit, though. You know, the way every corner seems to sort of peak at just at the right place with the undulation, just to make it a little bit tricky.
Very, very good circuit. Quite a lot of fun to drive, actually. Do you remember? Was it here that we had that hot lap contest? When we were at Silverstone? Was it this track?
Might have been.
I mean,
Might well
the
have
Renault,
been.
I think.
Yeah,
but,
it might well have been.
You know, it's a lot of fun to drive around here, and it's one of those tracks that's just fun to do laps on. Arguably, this one's better for just doing laps on than racing, and there aren't that many of those around really these days. You normally see drivers saying the opposite, don't you? That the track's not great to do laps on their own, but it provides good racing. Places like Kota and things like that. But this one, a bit of the opposite.
Little 3-4-way battle starting to form up. Brandon Whitworth in 8th place, Matthew Katila 9th, Michael Ruddock and Leon Wright 10th and 11th. They're all closing in on each other at the moment.
Richard Losber continues to lead in the MX5 category at the moment. He's only 0.3 of a second ahead of Jody Fike, so quite interesting. See how close they are.
These guys obviously leaving it till late to pit as well.
Yeah, I was under the impression Losber pitted already, but he hasn't. So
no, Alan, I believe, not even Alan's pitted yet. So Benke and Hartley, they're the leaders that are pitted.
Yeah, they've all started a little bit further down the field. Losber 20th, Fike 24th, 21st for Schwenke even. So tremendous qualifying. What happened to Tyler Shiflett tonight, Alex? Did you see that?
Unfortunately, that must have been when I was off. When we rejoined, he was there. So, but he still firmly in the race when we left. So,
I was gonna say just back to the track. I'll tell you what, we'll just see if Scott Kennedy can do anything about Iannucci down the hill.
While you're doing that, we were taking a quick look at Allen and Losber going side by side, and yeah, John Allen moves to the front.
Oh, he caught up. He was 2 seconds behind at the line. Was John Allen? He's flying. But John Allen does fly around the circuit, doesn't he? Quite a lot. He's was one of the more sometimes erratic drivers in last season. It win it or bin it at times, but he's looking more likely to win it than bin it this time. Into the pits comes Jody Fike from what was P3. See what he can do. Just back to the point on the track, actually, was I sometimes wish we could take all these racetracks, these classic racetracks. Kevin Ford off, by the way, through the final corner. I don't know if it cost him, if it really cost him anything, but he had to go to the outside of the traffic. And
36.8, little bit. It was quicker than the rest of the guys in front of him that lap. So
a bit of a scary moment.
Seems to be struggling to close this gap back down now. He brought it down from sort of 6 seconds down to 3, and it's crept back up to 4 now with traffic and other little things. But top 3, very, very close again. They're having to navigate the leaders in the MX5 class now as well, down through before the important sort of slow speed section. Drivers all sort of interchanging in positions there. So there you go, you've got top 3 in both classes, just on screen.
Mustang seems actually more comfortable through this section than the Mazda does, which I'm a little bit surprised by. But yeah, seems to be handling itself pretty well around here, the Ford. There's only a gap of about 4 seconds, isn't it, in qualifying between them.
Yeah, not a great deal
3 seconds, sorry. But no, I sometimes wish, mate, we could take these classic tracks that have been there for a lot of time, pick them up, put them somewhere else, and just like make them a little bit longer, or just give a couple of, put a couple of changes in there just to make some better overtaking opportunities and things like that. Just take them and alter them very, very slightly. This is one that you could really do that with, because it's a great circuit, really, really a lot of fun. And if you could just add a little bit to it, maybe it would lengthen the straights a little bit or something like that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, like you say, just give it a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, like a Virginia.
Yeah. Iannucci under a lot of pressure from Kennedy. Kennedy very, very close, using the traffic well. Thought for a minute he was going to have a little go.
I tell you what, though, if you stretch this track out, like you were saying, can you imagine how amazing that middle sector would be if that was, say, twice as long and the corners were maybe half as tight?
Yeah.
How fast that would be, and how sort of
amazing
fun that would be to drive, I reckon. Be like a Silverstone, or maybe the first sector at Koto, which I think is a very good sector. Where's he going to get the move done then? Scott Kennedy's 2/10 behind Iannucci, and really the only place, as we could say, is turn 6. And what's it like when you're in a race and you know that you've only got one real chance every lap? Does it put any sort of undue pressure on you, knowing that you've got to get that first sector right?
Yeah, I don't think so. If anything, it puts your mind a little bit more ease. You just get to a comfortable sort of gap and you think, okay, it's too far back to do anything, and you just work on that, really. Right, while these
guys... A lot
guys...
of traffic for Mike Dam here.
Yeah. Slowed him right down, hasn't it, as well? So, different classes as well. So, again, the guys form up. Ford really not able to capitalise on this. He keeps catching the traffic at all the wrong places as well. Top 3 are going to get past before the braking zone. So, they're all nip and tuck.
Difficult track this as well. The traffic to get out of the way on as well. Not a lot of easy places where you can let the leaders through without losing yourself quite a lot of time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, everyone's just separated apart. I'll just take this opportunity to just give a big shout out and thank you to the series sponsors once again, TD's Tree Service and Ricmotech. And while we talk about Ricmotech, let's just head on down to one of their little spotlights.
Focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV, Mid-Ohio Sports Car course. We've got about 10 minutes left. Obviously, thank you for bearing with us. We do like to give a little bit of love to our sponsors on the channel. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson, and well, Alex has been here for the whole race, and well, most of it at least. In the end,
Not so much.
It's been a very closely fought battle all the way through, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, very close at the front, in both classes as well. I'm not sure. I'm starting to wonder if Alan has pitted or hasn't pitted. Maybe you need to go and check that out, Andrew. I can't tell now after we fixed the glitch with the overlay.
That is a yes, I believe. Lap 10.
Lap 10, so very, very early. So when we were basically out, that's when he pitted. So that's why it's not shown. So he's having a great, doing a great job out there.
Would explain why he was so far down.
Yeah, and why he was flying through the pack as well. So, yeah, so he is what 3 seconds clear. So he's got a bit of traffic in between them. Interestingly, Robert Bryce in between them is actually in between them on the actual circuit as well. So in 16th place though overall. So he's struggling out there a little bit. So the second, third, and fourth gaggle are going to have to close up and get past him if they're going to get towards their teammate and potentially win this one.
Now, I'm guessing it's unlikely that these guys have changed tyres. Would I be right with that? The Mazda, at least, because
probably not.
Or do they have to change tyres? I forget the rule, but put it this way, if they have changed tyres, then these guys are going to be a lot better off than John Allen is.
Yeah,
because his tyres will be a lot older, but I don't know if they have.
I don't think they have to. But yeah, that's what they do. I mean,
here,
Allen a 1:39.5 the last time.
38.9.
Yeah, and best was a 37.7. So I'm thinking they probably all haven't. I don't know, but
as well, you got Hartley and Holmes right behind Travis Fenke as well. Those two are teammates.
Oh,
so they're going to behave themselves, I think.
Bit further back though, David Payton, Geordie Fike, going very well, just going at it. Will Fike pull out and have a little look? I thought he was going to for a minute, but decides against it.
Geordie Fike is. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just saying he's up a couple of places in this race already. So. Oh.
Yeah, he did. He did that long first stint, didn't he? I think, incidentally, though, mate, unfortunately for him at least, the 2 places that he's gained have coincided with the 2 Mustang retirements that we've had. I think so. Everyone's still running, apart from Edgar Sancinelli is actually in the pits. He's just taking some new tyres. He is still running. He's 3 laps down at the minute. So really, we've only lost Tyler Schiffler, and in fact, Raymond Bader Jr. didn't actually take the start.
No, he didn't.
So we've only had 1 retirement so far. I don't know, Alex, we had that comparative crash fest at Daytona when we had about 4 retirements or whatever it was. We thought they were in danger of becoming some right unruly buggers, didn't we? But it's not. It's not happened like that, really.
What a difference this series is compared to some others that we.
I think, I think without going into too much detail, I think last Tuesday it's another. Put it this way, it's another series that runs on a Tuesday. I think that's the issue there. But just love it though when a series, has such close competitive racing. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a particularly exciting race in terms of the on-track action, in terms of passing or anything like that. But it's the manner in which it's conducted, isn't it? That's just such a breath of fresh air around the. I tell you, if there was if these guys like Kevin Ford and Travis and these guys like that, if they had a fair bit of money behind them, then I tell you, they'd be the ones who I'd want to run an esports league or something. You know what I mean? Something similar.
Yep.
And actually bring that to fruition, because they're just by far the best organisers that I've seen in any series. They get good grids every week. Of we've had over 30 cars again today, and they do it. And the drivers respect each other. They respect the admins. I guess that's just the difference, isn't it? And we always get good racing. It's very rare we come to one of these races and nothing happens, or it's not very close at the front, or something like that. And then that makes it all the more amazing when, say, like Mike Dam, one of the races that he won by, there was one, wasn't there? He won by 20-25 seconds or whatever.
Yep.
That makes it a special thing when somebody does win by a lot, because it doesn't happen very much in this series. Used to them all like fighting away on the final lap with each other, aren't you? And there. Bit of traffic for Dam, actually, speaking of the Canadian current champion.
Keep an eye on that. I'm just keeping the little tabs on Hartley and Co. Still trying to close in on their teammate. A reasonable job. Still about 0.3 of a second every lap. Hartley out of shape coming through the final corner.
John Allen hanging on at the minute. I think he's going to have him. I think time's going to run out just in time for him, I think. All these guys can catch him. We've not got long left here.
Yeah, it's really ticked down,
minutes.
hasn't it? I mean, I suppose it helped when we disappeared for 20 minutes, but yeah.
It's true.
What can you do?
Oh, that's it. Can't control a lot of the time the beast that is the internet. Now, I wonder if we might see a late lunge from someone, maybe from quite a way back. If it was any other series, I'd say definitely, but this one, I think the drivers are just too polite.
Kennedy maybe on Iannucci? He definitely seems like the person who can get close enough to, warrant a bit of a lunge.
I reckon he could have a go easily. I'm with you on that one. Car just seems like it's in better shape at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. They have dropped forward now completely, 5.1 seconds, so he's just dropping back further and further with traffic. When he's clear, he does close back up, but he's just not negotiating the traffic as well.
Kennedy going wide incidentally at turn 1. Set him back a bit, I mean, he was right there, quarter of a second behind over the line. Now it's nearly 3/4 of a second.
A tricky section, I would imagine, though, when you're tucked up close. Now with that little chicane.
Might not see very well.
Yeah, that's literally my thoughts behind it.
Because it's a fairly sizable car, isn't it? I mean, I remember when we raced it in the commentators race and whatever. And
yep.
Not the easiest thing to see when you're stuck behind.
Switch back to the MX-5s because again they're very, very close. Last lap, 0.6 of a second they took out of Allen. 2.9 seconds. You're right. Time is going to be his ally here. I think if they had another 10 minutes, they might get him, but they're not going to get there.
I think we're only going to be the final lap, I think.
Yeah, where is Dam? That's it. Yeah, across the line. You're right. This is going to be the final lap. It's going to be a late white flag, but it will be the final lap of the race. So Dam looking pretty comfortable. That early pit stop paid off. It was quick. He was quick in the pits as well, so about a second shorter than what Iannucci was. Iannucci knew he needed to try and cover him off with no tyres, but couldn't quite get it done. And Kennedy absolutely blinding pit stop and been great pace ever since, but he just doesn't seem to be able to have, just do anything. We know how difficult the overtaking is here. Yeah,
Mikey.
for the sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say Mikey Grimes hasn't been able to really make any progress. He's that shows what the penalty does. He's 3 seconds behind Michael Monaghan, and he's only 8 seconds behind 8th place, Alex. That's how much that's cost him.
Big time. Yeah, huge. These three, nothing's going on between them. They're into the going to be the white flag for them as well, into that sort of overtaking zone. The MX-5, so I think all the positions pretty settled down. So it's a case of there's the checker.
Here we
coming
go.
out now. Here comes Dam.
2 corners to go then, and Mike Dam is going to master Mid-Ohio here and win in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Mike Dam of the line, taking victory here ahead of Iannucci and Kennedy. Where's John Allen? Alex is in the final sector.
Yeah, around the last corner. Here comes Allen then. We missed, unfortunately, his little strategic pit stop, but it paid off perfectly for him as he comes across the line and takes the victory. Teammates all behind. That's very, very close between Svenke and Hartley. Holmes just a little bit further back on the final lap, just to let him go. What else? There's another little battle going on out there that we probably need to pay attention to, and this has been raging for some time. It's Georgie Fike and David Payton.
Oh, is Payton going to have a look at the inside? He can do that here. Oh. Wide.
That's put pay to that one. Get a good run out
wide.
the corner, but unfortunately just lost too much time.
The line comes up far too quickly here, doesn't it? Be able to make that work, and Fike takes 6th place, which is the best that he's done, I think, for quite some time, to be honest. Just a note on John Allen as well. He beat Robert Brist on pace.
Yep.
So he beat one of the Mustangs who didn't look like had any problems. So, yeah, excellent job from John Allen. And it is one of the closest tracks in terms of the delta between the 2 classes.
Right, there's a lot of different liveries out there tonight, from what I can tell. So maybe we're getting some teammates confused here as well. But they're all black and green.
Yeah.
Talk about confusing us.
So we don't need confusing even more, do we? Normal.
Right, mate. Take us through the fun classifications, if you would.
Yeah, let's do that. Have we all? Has everybody finished? I think we have. So Mike Dam takes the win here in the Mustangs. Just over 1 hour, of course. Pasquale Iannucci 1 second behind. Scott Kennedy in 3rd. 4th for Kevin Ford. 5th Mike Griffith and Stephen Thomas in 6th. Russell Ruddock picked up P7 ahead of Brandon Whitworth, who moved forward nicely in the race. Good strategy by him. Matthew Catila in 9th. Michael Ruddock in 10th. Leon Wright 11th. Michael Monaghan in 12th. Mikey Grimes, he was just behind Monaghan at the end, but only 13th. 14th, Scott Brooks, and then John Allen taking the win in the MX-5 category ahead of the Mustang of Robert Brist, as mentioned. Now also ahead of his rivals, such as Travis Svenke, Robert Hartley, and Brian Holmes, who were very close together. At the end, Tom Rathje took 5th with Geordie Fike in 6th, 7th for David Payton, 8th Richard Losper, Dan Carrido in 9th, Mike Taylor 10th, Chris Torman 11th, Dave Fitzgerald 12th, Michael Key 13th. Edgar Sancinelli ended up retiring in the end. I think he crashed. I didn't see it, but it appeared that he did crash. Tyler Schiffler, didn't see what happened to him, unfortunately, but he was out before we came back from our little outage. Raymond Bader Jr., unfortunately, didn't take the start at all.
Right, another good race, and perhaps not the on-track action that we, would hope for, but it was always going to be a game of chess out there, really, and that's what we saw. But 2 very close races in both classes. So, and I think we've got a few people come in for a quick chat with us. So let's bring in the leader of the Mustangs and have a little chat. Mike, welcome.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah, good, buddy. Good. Well, you made the strategy call earlier on to pit. Unfortunately, we missed it because we had a bit of an internet outage here.
Oh yeah.
It put you into yeah, put you into the net lead. It was very close between you and Pat when you come out. I'm guessing you guys slightly slower pit stop time or shorter pit stops time. Sorry, didn't take tires.
Well, basically, this car takes tires two at a time, so it'll jack up either the left or the right side first. So I was able to take two tires.
Okay.
I took right sides, and I was able to come in. I was watching the fuel gauge, and I noticed I could make 2/3 of the race on a full tank. So I pit at about around 40, 39, 38 minutes. I just took right, so that cut down my pit time by about 8 seconds, I think. I didn't expect Pat to do the same thing because this track is just terrible for tires. I didn't know if it was going to work or if I was just going to lose all the time. But as you can see, Pat did the same thing. He took two tires, but I'm not sure about Scott. I think he might have took.
All three of you did. Your times on the delta for the pits were within a second of each other, so I'd be amazed if he managed to get all four done at the same time.
Okay, but yes, I think Scott had the faster car in the last 20 minutes, half an hour.
Very, very good. This, I mean, we were talking on air. This track is so difficult to overtake. Really, your opportunity was the pit stop, and you kind of nailed the strategy there. So from then on, it was just a case of not making any mistakes and hope the internet connection doesn't drop.
Yeah, that was the plan. Try to make the pass in the pits. Usually I don't go for strategy like that unless it's like a 90-minute race and there's two pits. But yeah, I couldn't see myself making a pass on the two guys in front of me because even our lines were way different, and I couldn't get into a rhythm behind to feel comfortable enough to get alongside or anything. So. Made the pass in the pits, but it was a real tight race to the end. Like, the car was handling like garbage, but I'm sure their cars were handling just as bad. So it was a fight to keep the car straight, and I'm surprised we all finished like within 1.5 seconds. So that's crazy.
Yeah, another great race. Onwards to next week, and I'm frantically looking up just to confirm where we're going.
I think that was week 11, so we should be on Road Atlanta.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, so Road Atlanta. I mean, chalk and cheese, really. The two circuits, massive long straight, lots of draft going into that chicane. Gonna be plenty of overtaking there.
Yep, that one's a classic. It'll be a really good race. The series is really tight as it stands right now, so I think it could be anybody's race.
Awesome stuff. Well, all the best of luck for that one. 90 minutes to finish the season off. You just need to have a nice, strong finish and championship yours.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Sorry, Mike. Before you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to? I just realised I took that opportunity away from you.
Yeah, all our sponsors, TD and Frank at Ricmotech. I'd like to thank all the drivers. They do a fantastic job making it a real competitive series. And also to the admins, Kevin did it all alone tonight and did a real good job. So he puts a lot of effort into that. So kudos to him.
Cool. Thanks very much, mate.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And I believe Andrew is with Mr. Nucci at the minute.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi Pat, welcome to the commentary box. Hard fought race out there. Started on pole. You must still be happy with the second place finish, though, I would imagine.
It's a little more painful when you're on pole, but it's good points day.
I mean, you weren't very far behind, obviously, at the finish, 1.1 seconds only, but It's tough to overtake round here, isn't it? So as soon as Mike Dam got into the lead, he must have thought, well, it might take something quite big in order to get that lead back.
Yeah, it's we were pretty close to the same lap time as the Mazdas were running. At least the front Mazda pack. You know, when we caught them on the infield, and literally they didn't hold us up at all. So I knew my best bet was going to be either if you made a mistake, which Mike very rarely makes a mistake, but in traffic was my best shot, and you know it didn't fall my way today, but all in all, it's a good points day.
What are your feelings about the track then? Do you enjoy this place?
It's a fun track to drive. It's quite challenging. You have to really position the car, you know, coming over some of those crests there. You have to position the car. Otherwise, you know, you just go straight off the track. But in these hot conditions, it gets greasy and it's more challenging and definitely it makes it a much more technical race.
Were you surprised that more mistakes weren't made given that slippery nature of the conditions out there?
Well, I wasn't. I mean, I was hoping for a mistake from Mike, but he very rarely makes one. So I thought traffic was going to be a little more difficult to navigate than it was tonight. But I think, you know, there might have been one or two close calls, but for the most part, it was pretty uneventful going through the MX-5s.
Probably the closest track of the season in terms of performance between the two classes. Like you say, it made it more difficult to get the moves done. And I was saying it's quite a difficult track if you are a backmarker to let people through efficiently as well. Were you experiencing that as well?
Yeah, it's you know, you're always either in a corner or setting up for the next corner. So in order to time those passes correctly, passing the MX-5s, there's only two places that you could pass. It's on that front stretch and then on the back straight. But it's if it's difficult for me, it's difficult for everyone. So all in all, I think it was a pretty clean race.
Yeah, it was. And Alex, where did we say we were again next week?
Road Atlanta.
Road Atlanta then. So fairly similar in a way is Road Atlanta, but of course it's got that big long straight, and that's surely going to excite you, Pat, in terms of two more overtaking possibilities.
Yeah, Road Atlanta is a lot of fun. And I think I may be mistaken, but I think it's a 90-minute race. We usually close with a long one, but we have I think 4 or 5 second advantage over the MX-5s because of those straights, so it's a little more user friendly for us, but it'll be some good racing for sure.
All right, and there we saw some tonight as well. Like I said, do the thing, gives a shout out to the sponsors and teammates, friends, family, whoever you like.
Yeah, Frank from Ricmotech. It's awesome that he makes this happen for us, and also TD, Travis Davis. He's great support for the series. Kevin and Jeff, they're always doing an awesome job. Kevin especially tonight. He was real fast, and he was doing it all on his own. So thank you. We really appreciate it, and thank you guys. I know it's a little rough in the middle of the night there, but we appreciate it.
It was even rougher tonight as well, mate. Internet went down and everything. So.
Oh, really?
It
was rough a couple of weeks ago too. You left Alex all on his own.
Yeah, well,
he almost did the same again tonight.
It's all right. You know what? I won that race, so if you happen not to show up next week, I'll be fine with it.
Tell him that.
Well, I might.
I'm just giving you a hard time
next week.
But thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Bring in Scott. We'll round out the podium.
Little harsh, I thought there, mate. I didn't leave you on your own. I told you I wasn't coming.
This is true. It was Adam that ditched me and left while he snoozed. I was on my Todd. So yeah,
I ditched you first, and then he did as well. Oh dear.
Scott, welcome to the booth.
Hey, thanks, guys.
And yeah, great race from yourself out there today. Moved up some places from qualifying. Car looked particularly good in that final stint. But yeah, if there was anyone who was going to make a move in that closing stage in that top three, it definitely looked like you. But again, Mid-Ohio, you just suffered like so many in the past have done before. It's just so damn difficult to get by.
Yeah, it's really hard to pass out there. I think I came out of the pits and I had the new tires and I was able to push those guys a little bit for a few laps and then I started falling off. But I think I had maybe a better long run setup and I could push them again at the end. But yeah, like you said, just nowhere to go. I was waiting for a mistake, but it never happened.
It just seemed. Can I butt in just a second, Alex? Just a quick one, Scott. It just seemed that when you did get close, you maybe 2/10 behind coming over the start finish line. That maybe you got turn one slightly wrong, or you got the chicane slightly wrong, and it just put you a little bit too far back because you had usually good runs down the back straight.
Yeah, it was. I had a couple runs. I've been struggling with my my shifter. I got some new equipment here. Got some new pedals, and that's really kind of bumped me up the order here. I feel a lot more comfortable, but I'm still missing shifts. I got to get used to this equipment here. So I definitely made a couple mistakes there.
I mean, Alex will tell you. You've tested more equipment, mate, than I can that I could probably list. But you could tell everybody how important the pedals are and the shifter and things like that for the comfort feeling and getting the ultimate pace out of the car.
That's it. Finding the right equipment for you, the driver, is one of the most important things. So, yeah, I hope you start to fully gel with that, and it's good that it's made the improvement. When I was talking to Travis in his interview, he did question whether or not you'd taken new tires. Was it 2 tires or did you take 4?
Yeah, I only took 2. I took the left side tires. I think Mike was saying he took right side.
Yeah, he took right side. So
I would have thought left side would have been the ones you should take around here. Am I right? Or you should take there's more right-handers, aren't there? So you should. Am I right? You should take the outside tires.
Yeah, I mean, I go find the best passing spot, and it's down the main straight, and you got a right-hander coming into that, so that's the most important corner for me, and kind of a no-brainer there.
Unless he was working with some balance or something.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? So we could say that, but he's sitting there on top of the podium. But I have to say, your car looked good in the second half of the race. I mean, Road Atlanta. Now that's quite a different track. Obviously, a lot longer, but actually, in so many ways, very similar. Lots of undulations, some slow, some high speed, some twisty sections. But of course, we have a massive long straight where draft is going to be quite key. So, can you take some of that form on and into the final round of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Road Atlanta. I've turned a lot of laps there. I've had some really good results. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks, Scott. Before we let you go, as always, mate, take it away and give us a shout out to people that make it happen for you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hey, first of all, I want to thank you guys. You do a great job every week. Obviously, Ricmotech for putting on the series, TD Tree Service for supporting us. Kevin and Jeff, man, they work so hard. It's been a lot of fun joining this series, and gotta thank my wife too. She's sitting downstairs with a migraine, waiting for me to come down and make dinner. So I better get going.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, mate. Yeah, go and
thank you.
Go and sort that out. Cheers. Right.
That's commitment, though, mate, to his media duties, I have to say.
Yeah, that's it.
Giving us this time, we're grateful for that.
A couple more just to work our way through. And we'll start off, and I'll hand it over to you, Andrew, with John Allen.
I was going to say you needed to tell me who that was because I couldn't see it. John, welcome to the commentary box, mate.
Good US evening and English morning, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanking you. Yeah, Tuesday morning here for us. So, John, early pit stop then. Bit of a change up there and worked really well.
Yeah, I just kind of got back to my old ways, what works for me. I typically pit pretty early because I usually have the time to practice and I'm confident in a fuel number of what a full tank will be without draft. And ideally, I can keep the draft and then break it in the pits, and then I know I'm good. But the last couple races, I haven't had the practice time. I've got the fuel way wrong, and it's been the death of me. So I had a bump with Brian. I got into him. He was doing the right thing, being cautious in lap one, and I was just too aggressive and right up his tail. And so I was worried I had aero damage before we'd made 3 turns. And so I let Travis by at one point, hoping 3 cars poking in a hole in the air would help me a little more. And in the end, I don't think it was too bad, or it got fixed quick in the pits if there was any at all. So that was a lucky break, and pit stop went, about as smooth as it could.
In fairness as well, it's the sort of circuit with limited overtaking opportunities where really you've got to try something different on the strategy, and I suppose it allowed you to get out of that tight pack, especially with the cars being so evenly matched around here.
Yeah, I knew it was clear early. I mean, the front pack separated earlier than usual. We didn't have that 8 to 10 car train. So once I knew it was just the 4 of us, that was the other reason I wanted to move to the back, because I was starting to lean towards pitting as early as possible. And if I'm the rear car, it gives me a lot, more options to do that and not cut somebody off. Or so that, it worked well. And then it's just kind of a crapshoot. If you do come out mixed with the rear of your class or the Mustangs overtake, the times are so similar here. I didn't research that. I just got lucky to come out and find my way through pretty smoothly the couple cars I had to, and then I was off and running.
I was going to say, the first Mazda driver we've spoken to tonight so far, and we were saying on commentary how difficult it is to overtake, but obviously how difficult it is to be lapped and do it efficiently for your own race. Were you finding that tough out there, or is it something that you're pretty good at?
Well, I mean, here the advantage perhaps that I and Travis, for that matter, have is being local guys. So we've both driven around this track in real life, and so we happy to see Ohio on steps 1 and 2 of the podium. But that helps, knowing kind of the strengths and working with the traffic. It's often best to give early, because if you get in that midsection and towards the end, I think there was a Mustang mixed in with us that was about the same pace. So, you can see how close they are in the midsection.
You did manage to beat one of the Mustangs out there, and Road Atlanta next week then. Circuit that we seem to have been to quite a few times in 2017 already. Is it one that you like? It's fast and flowing, and of course you've got those couple of excellent overtaking spots as well.
I'll be honest, Road Atlanta, it is a great track. I love it, and most do, but it is kind of my nemesis. I have not had a truly clean and healthy race there in a long time. I'm capable of a lot of speed there, but consistently over time, it doesn't always work out that way. So I'll probably be leaning on pit strategy again, being as there's 2 of them. Maybe that'll be enough to keep me in touch and hanging on to a chance at the championship, depending on how Robert does. He's in pretty steady control right now.
I was just going to talk about that, actually. Obviously, the points win today. I mean, I know Rob's there in 3rd place, gets good points as well, but you obviously closed the gap down. There was only 22 points between you going into this one, so it's everything to play for out there next week.
Yeah, everything matters right now. I saw him get the pole, and I knew that was worth something, so I was really hoping Travis could hold him off at the end for an extra spot between us, but he's built himself a cushion, and it's going to take a lot. But a 90-minute version at Road Atlanta leaves a little more opportunity, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for joining us, of course. You'd like to give your own personal shout-outs before we let you leave?
Yeah, it was great to be able to run back in the sim after getting a couple laps around here, or a couple races around here this summer in real life. It's a kind of a role reversal, but yeah, kudos to you guys. I'll tell you what, it's you guys do in the middle of the night as well as most people would do. Bright and early on full sleep. So we really appreciate you doing what you do for us, and each and every week. So good on you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, we did Did miss a little bit of the race. We'll just give you a heads up on that one for the broadcast. But
Oh, but never mind. No.
But we
Take
again,
it all back.
we're at the mercy. We're at the mercy of the internet, as you well know. It's it's not always the easiest beast to tame, but yeah, we like doing this, and that's that's why we do it. To be fair, we enjoy it, and this league, we say it over and over. We'll probably make everybody completely bored of it, but it's one of the best leagues in the world, so that's why we like doing it.
Yep. Well, cheers, guys. Have a great one.
You too,
Thanks,
John.
Jim.
And now,
Thanks,
that was the winner, John Allen, and the man who finished second was Travis Schwenke, and he's with Alex.
Yeah, good evening, Travis. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you guys.
Second place. Again, you guys obviously went for a bit of an earlier strategy, but not quite as early as John. And once he popped out of the pits and everybody settled himself down, he had quite a gap there. Were you surprised by that margin? And then obviously, did you think you were going to be able to catch him back up because you were slowly reeling him in?
Yeah, I thought I'd come out about 2.5 seconds behind him. He did. I just looked at the pit time, so he definitely gained like a second there, and I think it was 4 seconds. So it wasn't. It was a little more than I expected, but yeah, I was trying to reel him in, and just kept working and working and working, and I was right there on the edge of draft then, and I made that big mistake coming out of keyhole, and that just kind of killed it from there. We're running this similar lap times, and it was just at the mercy of traffic. Hoping he could get held up or I wouldn't, and something would happen there. But yeah, it was a great run by John. That was really good to run that long on tires. So.
And you had Rob right behind you as well. Brian not too far behind. I mean, guys are always nip and tuck every week now, and championship's going to come down to I think whether or not one of you guys make a mistake now. Obviously, Rob in the driving seat at the moment, but yeah, with that final race at Road Atlanta, anything could still happen, and championship is up for grabs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to miss 3. I thought I was only going to miss 2 races, but I had a commitment come up one Monday that I couldn't get out of for my son, so ended up missing that third one, so kind of took me out. But I still enjoy racing with these guys, so I'll try my best and try not to get in the way of that fight, because I think John and Rob will definitely have a fight here in that coming up that last race.
Just tell us a little bit about this circuit before we go, because I mean, everybody else that we spoke to, we've obviously talked about how difficult it was to overtake. I mean, you had obviously Rob behind you. Were you worried that he was going to try and make a move? Were you fairly comfortable that as long as you didn't put any foot wrong here, there, or whatever, you could hold on to second?
Yeah, I mean, Rob was really quick. John and I were talking about it coming into Carousel, and he would come in there and just gain loads of time, but there's not much you could do with it. So I was just trying to make sure I stayed on the inside and got a good launch out of there. And then similar with keyhole. So a lot of times I think we were pretty even out of there. Sometimes I could get a little advantage, and he wouldn't be able to pass. I think I had a couple of opportunities early when he first caught me with that traffic, and I think he realized we were reeling John in, so I don't think he wanted to mess that up. But that might have been the opportunity, because once the tires were, it got a little harder to get that pass pulled off. Yeah, it's very slick. I mean, I actually had a problem when I first started this course in iRacing, because I had so many real life laps here that it was different in places that the curbs and such. Like in real life, there's some curbs you don't touch at all, and here you have to hit them, and it kind of made it hard for me to make the adjustment. It just feels slicker overall. Right. I was complaining about keyhole actually, because the exit, even in my front wheel drive car, I get the car to rotate over the little crest there, and I can slam on it and never worry about pushing out. And even this rear wheel drive car, you get it to rotate there, and it does not want to. It just starts to push if you get on the power too hard, which seems kind of counter of what it should be doing. So.
Well, interesting information there, and yeah, let's get that shared with the guys of the development team and say, there's a bit more grip there. Come on, sort it out.
Yeah. It definitely falls off, but if you get it to rotate, as you come over that little crest mid corner, you're fine. You can use that to help you, kind of counteract what it's trying to do.
Oh, awesome stuff. It's nice to hear slight differences out there. So. Right.
Yep.
Let's go with the shout outs, and we're going to wrap up this show, mate, right after that. So thank you very much.
Yes, thanks to our sponsors, TD and Ricmotech, and you guys again in the booth. I know John said a lot there. I was kind of thinking about it last week after talking to you guys that I always love watching the broadcast back and hearing your guys' insight, because you're obviously racers. You have the great insight on some of the stuff, and love hearing the things you pick out that are exactly right, exactly what we're thinking and what we're going through. So love it, and I know I'll enjoy watching this one back.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Travis. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Cheers, Travis. Travis Schwenke there, and sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, what's your final thoughts then?
Mate, I think it's as we said, it was one of those races where maybe not the most exciting. I'd compare it. Did you watch the Grand Prix?
I did watch the Grand Prix, yeah.
I'd compare it to that.
Exactly the same. I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to get too Europeanized in this American series. There, but
I'd compare it to that in that, I enjoyed the race. There wasn't a lot going on the track, but I really actually enjoyed the race quite a lot. It was more of an interesting race in terms of what people were going to do with the strategy and how they were, tire.
The kicker of it all.
Tire things and go on. Sorry.
I think, the kicker of it all. The most important part, really, of the race was the strategy, and just typically that was when we were off air because of the internet outage. So a bit gutted at that, because that we really would have gone into the nitty gritty of the strategy bit here, and how those pit stops would have panned out and things like that. So I'm a bit annoyed for that, but yeah, I'm afraid these things do happen. So.
I think you're right there, dude. I think that's the main. I think that was the main issue. Unfortunately, is we missed John Allen's stop and what he was doing. So we didn't notice it until
Mike as well. Yeah.
Until a bit later on. But you know what? Stuff happens sometimes, doesn't it? And that's what we've got to deal with. And at stupid o'clock in the morning, I reckon.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we'll obviously be we'll be back for the final week and see who's going to win this championship, and it'll be a second series that we've done and dusted. Crazy.
Wow, already. I know. Absolutely brilliant series, and we love doing it. But yeah, it just fly by, doesn't it? And I believe it is an endurance race, as we mentioned.
90 minutes.
90 minutes next week. So. Right and early and all that.
I was about to say, get your nap in.
The worst thing is, I'm off for a week this week, and I'm back to work on Tuesday morning, so that's going to be fun, isn't it? But, we'll see how we get on. But we'll definitely try and make it for next week.
That's it. Definitely get your nap sorted out beforehand. All right, mate. Well, take us away.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV, and we'll see you for the championship decider next week at Road Atlanta. Good night. Good morning.
Focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern.